And we are live. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome to the Angel and Tina show, the bright start to your morning. We're super glad that you are here with our fabulous guests, Sharon Lechter and Carey Conley. How are you ladies doing?
Fantastic.
Fabulous.
Oh
I'm so excited that we actually got to get on Facebook Live this morning.
We often, and many of our listeners or followers know that, technology these days, as everybody is jumping on, we have all at the mercy of technology. But I think that we've grown pretty accustomed to it. And
if they don't see us on Facebook, they come look for us on YouTube. They know where to find us.
Absolutely. Well, it is the middle of the week, and so we are getting through the week, although not everybody takes a weekend anymore, working on our self-care and boundaries.
Well, there is such a thing as a weekend anymore.
There isn't, right? Carey, are you not taking weekends?
It's just every day is the same day.
Do you forget what day it is?
Completely.
Yes.
And especially because I'm not at home. I mean, I'm not only not on the right day, I'm not in the right space. I'm not, it's just, I could become Mars right now. It doesn't matter.
You have an exciting announcement that something just happened to you recently.
Yes, my daughter had a baby on Friday.
I love it. And this is your first grandbaby.
He is my first, probably of many to come.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And she's Cece, right? You're
Cece. Yes, that is my name.
I love that.
Yes.
Is it CICI or CE?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I tried to call her grandma the other night, and she's like, no, it's Cece. I said, I have a feeling you're going to get a lot of grandma.
Yeah.
From folks, but
Yeah, I am, but I'm correcting every single one of them.
Yeah, mine's gonna be Titi, but Titi is Spanish for aunt too, but that's also my initials. But
Yeah.
everybody calls me that, so I'm like, yeah, I think I might want to be called that once I become a grandmother, because I am not a grandmother right now.
No.
How about
There is nothing wrong with being a grandma. Sorry. I love being a grandma.
Yeah.
And
What are you called, Sharon?
Grandma.
Are you
Grandma.
okay?
Yeah, my grandmas were grandma, right? My grandmas were grandma.
What do you want to be called once the time comes?
Oh, yeah, I haven't even thought of it.
Like
There
grandma.
are ways to go for that.
Right, my kids aren't dating, so yeah, we haven't even thought of that. Did you always know you were going to be Cece, Carey? Like, when did you decide that?
No, actually, my daughter, it's kind of a long story. My mother-in-law, Peggy Conley, was called Mom C.
Okay.
Mom C. Conley. And my kids' friends all call me Mama C. So I thought that it would be Mama C, and my mom and Laurel said, no, that's just too weird because all our friends call you Mama C. So you're going to be Cece.
Okay.
So there you go.
I like
But
it.
it fits really well with the brand,
Well, it does.
You gotta be brand all the way, right?
We can now just call you Cece, like we're here and forevermore.
You know what? If it catches on, I'm all about it.
I love it. Fabulous. Did you call, so you called Mom C. Do you call Tina, do you call your grandma?
Well, both of them are passed now, but one of them was Granny and Abuela, and then one of them was Grandma.
Okay.
But they all have passed now, so I don't call anybody anything, but yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, what a fabulous new journey for you, new adventure for you, Carey. And I know you've been staying in Oklahoma with your daughter, been able to be there, but you couldn't be in the hospital, correct?
No, the only person allowed in was the dad. And once he went in, he was not allowed out. So, and it turned into an extended stay. She went in on Wednesday night to be induced, went into labor at 10 that night, and all throughout the day was not progressing. He just did not want to come out.
Oh.
So finally at 12:30 a.m. on Friday, 26 hours later, they did a C-section. And because she did
26 hours in labor.
Yeah. Since she had the cesarean, of course, she had to stay in the hospital longer. So they didn't come out until late Sunday afternoon. So,
oh my goodness. Wow.
You go in and you don't come out.
Yeah.
But, and
Did
I know
they do the whole thermometer thing before you went in, and
You're not even go there.
I'm sure they did. They do all she had to do all the testing every time she went to see the doctor there.
Yeah.
So, it was a lot. It was a lot.
Well, we now have a beautiful grandbaby boy. I'm just so excited. We also have another little great piece of news that for Carey that today.
He has all kind of good news today.
Today is
Carey Conley her birthday.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's all surreal.
Birthday, Carey.
Thank you for sharing your day with us today.
Yes, when Angel asked me, I was like, okay, that's perfect. It's my birthday.
We can start the day together. We can start
to be here with you guys and with Sharon.
Right. Sharon, are you able to see your grandbabies? Have you been able to visit with them? Have they been able to come and see you?
Yes. They're actually up at the ranch. Our grandson is here, but they've been up a couple of times. So I'm the one that's back in the valley all the time. So I leave them up there and come home, and because the quality of the internet here is stronger. So I'm there usually Thursday through Monday, and then Tuesday through Thursday, or Monday through Thursday, I go back up to the ranch.
Sharon, where do you live at?
I live in Paradise Valley, Arizona. Right up the street from Carey.
Oh, good. So you guys are neighbors.
Our ranch is 3 hours outside of Phoenix. So
yeah, awesome.
Time come back for the video.
Been there with us a couple of times.
Yes, it's beautiful. And I woke up actually thinking about the ranch today, Sharon, going, you know what? When I get back, I might have to come up there.
Oh, it's just beautiful right now. Everything's so green. It's just so gorgeous.
And peaceful, I bet.
It's very peaceful. And, it's easy to social distance there because we're in the middle of the Tonto National Forest. So I tell people, instead of 6 feet, I took my husband 200 miles. And that
I love it.
Right. And so you keep coming back because Sharon, your on camera, your speaking events, your virtual events have accelerated during this time. How many?
Oh, I'm busier than ever. Yes. I've got 6 today. So
6 today.
Wow.
That is a record.
Angel, I don't think we've had 6 in one day.
No. But
She's
Sharon
like
on demand, in demand,
right.
and she's so gracious, accepting so many invitations. We will talk about our Assets Are Sexy Summit coming up with Sharon Lechter. Carey's also a sponsor of the event, so we will talk about that. So Sharon, how do you stay prepared and keep the energy going to do 6 events in a day? That seems like a lot. Is that a record for you, or is that kind of average?
Well, I've been doing between 4 and 6 a day pretty much for the last several weeks, just because of what's happening right now in the world. And it is by the time that 6th one rolls around, I have to go jog around my house a little bit and get the energy back up. So, but it's an opportunity to share and to help people out there. So I do what I can to try and make sure I stay elevated and ready to go.
Lots of water. I know when Angel and I are doing this.
After 3 o'clock, the water turns to wine.
She's our kind of girl, Angel.
Oh, absolutely.
We go from coffee to wine.
Well, I tell my family knows that we drink coffee all day until it's acceptable to switch it over. So Sharon, what has been your favorite part about just the social distancing and having your family at the ranch, or just during these last 6 weeks?
Well, I think globally, it's an opportunity for everybody to really look at their life and say what's working and what's not. Yeah. And for years, I've talked about the book Outwitting the Devil, and the fact that one of the fears that I think was pervasive in our society was the fear of criticism. Everybody wanted to look good, everyone wanted to compete and keep up with the Joneses. And 7 weeks ago, that went out the window because it got to be the fear of death and the fear of poverty. So all of a sudden, it's like a global reset, and nobody cares. Everybody's redefining their life, and there's never been a better time to work on your life and on your business as opposed to in it, and redefine how you want to come out of this and be prepared, because the successful businesses solve a problem and serve a need. I think we have a few of those these days. Mm-hmm. And so the issue is, are you going to use this time to prepare and prosper, or are you going to sit on the sofa and let the opportunity pass you by? So.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
beautiful. How about you, Carey? What's been your favorite part during this time?
You know, I think it's like Sharon said, you know, I've been preparing to be a lot more virtual in my life anyway, knowing that this baby was coming.
Hmm.
So I started prepping like last September of making some pivots in my life and the way my business was structured. Thank goodness.
Hmm.
So it was a pivot for sure, like everybody else, but not as drastic as it could have been. Um, you know, the challenging part has been for me personally being not only quarantined when I was in Scottsdale, but coming here and having to be quarantined with my daughter and not having the openness that it would have been with people being able to come over and visit him and meet him and all of that. So that's been the bigger challenge really for us. The business, not so much. It's been the personal side.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So you talked a little bit about the challenge. I was going to ask you also, Sharon, what has been the biggest challenge for you during this time?
Well, for me, it's the internet at the ranch. You know, it would have been great for me to be up there and be able to stay up there, but I also want to make sure that when I'm doing broadcasts, it's quality. So we started a 6-week book study for Outwitting the Devil 4 weeks ago now. And the first one, you can see I was just kind of fuzzy on the screen. I said, oh, okay, that's a message. So having to go back and forth, and I've got there's a winery in Young, a little tiny winery that I go into every once in a while because they'll open it up for me so I can broadcast from there. But
she has those VIP things that she can
yeah.
do.
But for me, I would not say I'm a tech savvy geek. I'm definitely the one button wonder. So being displaced, like Carey talks about being there, being at the ranch without my big screen and my ability to spread my papers around on my desk is frustrating for me because I want to make sure that I do my very best to support people. And all of a sudden I'm there and I can't find that one thing I'm looking for. And certainly, as you well know, Angel, we've been steadfastly preparing for this Assets Are Sexy event. And so I've got tons of paperwork that I'm shuffling back and forth. So that part gets a little frustrating. But I love being with my family. And certainly it's a very safe place for my husband who has lung issues. So when we're getting all kinds of projects done at the ranch, which is one of the on the plus side, not the negative, but the frustration part is having to flip back and forth.
Yeah.
Love it.
I can't wait for your event. I've already registered.
Good.
And I actually started reading Outwitting the Devil earlier this year. So I'm excited to see all that.
Yeah, let's talk about Assets Are Sexy. We do have an event coming up. It is a signature one of a kind event, May 15th, in just a little over a week. Sharon, do you want to introduce the event and talk about it a little bit?
Well, certainly. I think maybe you should introduce how it came about, Angel, because you were there. You're the one that brought the idea of doing something with me and you and Dawn. So why don't you kick off by talking about how you came to see me about it, and then I'll talk about the event.
Well, it is a fun story. It is a really fun story. Dawn Moore and I had traveled to Toronto, Canada. I was speaking at an event up there, and we had piggybacked. And while we were there, we were attending another event about how to sell. It was about how to sell 1 million copies of your book. And one of the offers from stage that they were offering was that you could be involved in a book. They called it a book with a legend. And so you got to be on the cover with some iconic person, and you'd have a chapter in a book, but all of the options were all with gentlemen. They were all men. You could choose this man, that man, this man. And Don and I looked at each other, and people were asking us, were we going to participate? And I thought, if I was going to do something like that, I'd want to do it with a female on the cover, a woman in business, an iconic woman leader, somebody who was a mentor leading the way. And Dawn and I instantly, like at the same time, was a Jinx, you owe me a Coke moment. And we both said Sharon Lechter. And so we created a silly little Facebook video and said, Sharon, we've got an idea and we want to bring it to you. And we flew and met Sharon and Angela for lunch in Arizona. You were there getting ready to kick off the Think and Grow Rich event. You were speaking that weekend at the Think and Grow Rich event. And the idea of how could we bring something for women in business? That there was a gap for women they are successful, they're building their business. There's a lot of opportunity for startups and helping get your business up and off the ground. And I imagine that there's probably lots of resources for women once you hit over that $1 million mark, but there seems to be this gap. So we're successful, we've grown our business and we've gotten it to a space, but we can't seem to get it to fill that gap, to get it to that $1 million mark. And that's the piece, and that's the place that Sharon fills the gap so beautifully. And so Assets Are Sexy, the Money Mastery event, was born.
And only 1.7% of women-owned businesses exceed $1 million in revenue. And that's one of the things I've committed to change. I want to get that from 1.7 to 17 and then 34. And then let's get all, every business. And part of it is a lack of confidence. And so by doing this event, we want to share stories of women. The speakers that I have are all have businesses that they started from an idea, a passion, and created $1 billion business from it. So one is the founder of Jazzercise, Judy Shepard-Massett. Her love of dance and exercise turned into Jazzercise, a global empire, well over 100 million in revenue a year, and certainly a valuation over $1 billion. And then Phyllis Newhouse, another friend of mine who retired military, specializing in cyber security, and started her business, Extreme Solutions. And his last year was the Ernst & Young Tech Entrepreneur of the Year, first time a woman received that recognition. Wow. And her business is over 100 million, well over 100 million, so definitely over $1 billion in revenue as well, in valuations. So those are the types of people. We have Forbes Riley, who's been responsible for over $1 billion in sales on television networks, and now has her own company and coaching and supporting people getting healthy.
She's actually going to be on our show tomorrow morning.
Forbes is?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. You'll have to talk about Assets Are Sexy with her.
We will.
Get her to share it on, because she's got a huge social media presence. She and I are going to do something. I think it's tomorrow afternoon, actually. And then I have Lisa Copeland, who's one of the top women in automotive and a recognized sales guru, as well as Kendrick Shope, who is one of the most highly successful sales, selling authentically for how to sell to women. So the two of them are going to do a session together. And so it's just going to be an incredible day of talent. And then we have 25 incredible women and men who've stepped up and said they want to sponsor this event, and they're going to be serving as panels. Both, Angel is a host committee, but also going to be a moderator for one of the panels. Carey is one of our sponsors, and we're going to be highlighting their expertise and elevating. They're going to be sharing, and everybody participating is going to be giving a free gift. But because of all the sponsorship, the event is free. We've been able to open it up to anyone who's looking to find out one thing that can take their business to the next level. So I'm just delighted and I'm thrilled. We spent the entire day yesterday going through each of the panels to get to know each other and to understand how we can provide the greatest value the day of the event. It was a great day. It was another day of 6 straight hours of Zooms. But by the sixth one, I could my tongue was not operating correctly. But so it's very, very exciting. We're expecting over 1,000 attendees, because we're already at over 350, and we haven't really, the major promotion is just beginning. So
right, we are just now starting to promote it and send out those invitations.
Yeah, we have a lot of people who are saying they've already registered. We can't wait. We're so excited.
The speakers that you are seeing that you brought in, Sharon, there's a lot. I think the speaker world is kind of small, right? You see a lot of familiar faces, and there's a lot of opportunity for us to see a lot of the same people. You've brought in women and people that we are not used to seeing, not used to having access to. So these are fresh new faces, and with the valuation of their businesses is exactly the type of training and teaching.
Well, I love personal development. It's something, I definitely am very involved in it. I believe in it wholeheartedly, and I'm on those stages you're talking about. So I'm part of that world, but I really wanted this to not just be mindset, but to truly be inspirational and women who've been there, done that. The day is getting kicked off, and I can't believe I didn't mention this, by Denal Delgado. So she's going to set the tone for the day. She's going to, rev everybody up. kicking the day off. And, her whole concept of I choose joy, right?
Mm.
And so we can still be highly successful, joyful women, but also, it's okay to make money by serving others. It gives you the opportunity to serve even more. And there's a lot of guilt around making money, and we need to get rid of that and understand that, successful businesses solve a problem and serve a need. And we have a few of those. So I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a great day. It's going to be from 9 to 6 Pacific time. And the last hour is a virtual cocktail party. So we're going to bring all the panelists back together, those that can, to celebrate the day. And I think it's just going to be a great day. I'm really looking forward to it. And it's the first of this initiative. And it was Angel and Dawn and Carolyn Andrews who came to us and said, we want to put together this initiative. And I'm honored and thrilled and appreciate the energy and the effort that they've all been making.
Absolutely. And Carey, when Carey heard, she's like, I'm in. Like, no even question, no delay, quick decision. And I think sometimes as entrepreneurs and even as women, we can be slow to make those decisions. Like, we see an opportunity, and if it's not perfect, or to ask a lot of questions. But Carey, you are, and I know you talked about this earlier this week, Sharon, about being a decision maker. You have that ability to make quick decisions. Talk about why that is so, because it's such a powerful skill set, but it comes from something that you teach.
Well, thank you for saying that, Angel, because I have to tell you, out of some of the women that I know, I would not have said until now that I am a quick decision maker, but it is something that I'm learning from Sharon, because she and I talk a lot. Sharon's my mentor and my business coach for the year. So I'm pretty much attached to her hip. And she overserves me so well. And the last conversation we had was about a week ago. I called her saying, hey, I need to talk out a couple things with you, because as a business owner, I've been taking some really, really big leaps in my business since last September. And I went in knowing that they were going to be big leaps, but there's more that comes to anytime you do a leap than you realize. And you go through periods of going, okay, did I make the right decision? Am I on the right track? Do I keep going? And, one of the things Sharon reminded me of was, you know what, you made this decision. You made it, stick with it, and keep going. And she's so right. And I heard you say this in one of your other summits somewhere, Sharon, recently, that when you are hanging with the millionaires and the billionaires of the world, one of the things that you see in them is that they all make very fast decisions. Mm-hmm. They have an idea and they just all go, you know what, let's do it. Mm-hmm. And they don't fear if it doesn't work. It may not work. And that's the thing, is that they just go and go, you know what? Well, if it didn't work, it didn't work. We tried it.
Take that risk.
Yeah. They go next.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take that risk.
Take the risk.
Failures and mistakes are occurrences, not definitions. And too many of us, if you make a mistake, we feel like it defines who we are, and it doesn't. It just means that hopefully you learn from it and don't repeat it.
Right.
So indecision, one of the things, in the book, Think and Grow Rich for Women, indecision is a decision.
Yes.
And too many women don't. In fact, as it relates to assets or sexy, Angel, I haven't shared with you. Yesterday, I had 15 women reach out wanting to participate. They could have done it 2 months ago, but they waited. Now that they're seeing how exciting it is and they're seeing all the media around it, they want to play.
Well, you know what? This is what I see, and Sharon, maybe you see this too, is especially with women, unfortunately, it usually is because they're afraid to spend the money. Mm-hmm. Always, it's the first thought of is, I can't invest this because I don't have it, and I'm too worried that I'm not going to get it back. And so that's why they vacillate. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I'm generalizing too much, but I just don't see that in men as much. And I don't know what that is. Maybe you said a few minutes ago that you see somewhat of a lack of self-confidence. But that usually, for me anyway, for the people who come to working with me as a client, it's always the thing about the money.
Do you think that we don't think that we're worth the investment?
I would say yes. From my experience, it's always a lack of, am I worth it? Do I deserve it? Am I really all that good for me to invest in myself? And what if I lose all the money and I don't get it back? It's just all these question marks, which is sad. And I think it's just because we aren't taught from an early age. And I know this is Sharon's passion, as children, to understand how money really works.
I think it's also women tend to feel like they have to do everything on their own.
Yes.
And one of the things I talk about when I do women's groups is we define ourselves by the roles we play.
Mm-hmm.
Am I a good mom? Am I a good wife? Am I a good grandma? Entrepreneur? And instead of, it's taken me years and I'm still working on it. So I realize if I'm a better Sharon, then I can be a better mom, wife, entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And too many of us, we put ourselves last and we judge ourselves through the eyes of others.
Yeah.
And we need to learn how to stand in our own power. It goes back to the old put your own oxygen mask on first. But at the end of the day, women need to learn how to stand in their own power and how to surround themselves with the right people. Too many times we're afraid to ask for help. And that's when, I say, instead of looking at it as asking for help, it shows a sign of respect.
Yeah.
I'm honored to be working with Carey, and it's something that, she's an incredible gift to the people that work with her. Mm-hmm. And so if there's something that I can do to help her expand her network, I'm thrilled by that. And so many, women still tend to feel like they've got to compete with each other.
Yeah.
And it's something that if we get together, and that's one of the things we want to get across on Assets Are Sexy is women helping women. Mm-hmm. And the men who champion us. All right. We've got several men that are participating. And it's, the whole concept is don't do it by yourself. Business is a team sport. Make sure you have the right people on your team. Have people on your team who are strong where you're weak. Mm-hmm. And, Carey's been doing that with bringing in the right digital team. I've brought in a new digital team. So it's, find those people that can help you.
Your tribe that makes you vibe. I've always told my clients to find the tribe that makes you vibe, that lifts you up when you're feeling down, that, that will give you that confidence when you have felt that defeat in you.
I think it's so important, though, that we clarify help, getting the right help from people who are a little bit further in the game than you are. They are truly successful, because here's what I see a lot of times people do is they reach out and ask for help from people who aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing either. Sharon and I have a mutual friend, Rita Davenport, who's a speaker and so funny. And one of her taglines is, never take advice from people more messed up than you.
Right?
But this is what women do, is instead of reaching out and asking, like me asking Sharon to be my mentor for the year, what they'll do is they'll reach just about where their comfort zone is, and sometimes a little bit below. And so what they get, of course, is advice from people going, don't do that. That's too scary, because they're not willing to jump. Mm-hmm. So I've learned to reach beyond always. Even from being in my first entrepreneurial gig 26 years ago, I always reached to the people who were further ahead where I wanted to be, and didn't listen to the people around me that were saying, you're crazy for doing that.
A few weeks ago, I don't remember who it was we had on this show, but they always said, you got to be watching those people 3 or 4 cars ahead.
Yes.
That are 3 or 4 blocks ahead of you, and always pay attention to the direction that they're going.
In 3 Feet from Gold, the first book that I did with the foundation, we have a section in there that calls Seek Counsel, Not Advice. You can get advice from your brother-in-law, you can get advice from the cab driver and from somebody on the elevator, but you want to get counsel. And that means from somebody who's been there, done that, somebody that can truly has the wisdom of experience that can help speed your way to success. And too many people seek advice, not counsel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wise, very wise words.
Our comments are blowing.
Are you watching them?
Yes, they're blowing up. This is hitting home. What a powerful lineup we have today.
Yeah, this is just like a little sneak preview as to what's going to happen at Assets Are Sexy. And Sharon, you have this big vision of, and you had said there's only 1.7% of women in business that hit that $1 million mark, and to raise that, tenfold and then tenfold and tenfold. And this is the start. This is the launch of something really, really spectacular for women. I want to introduce both of our speakers and give their bios. I'm actually going to start with you, Carey, because of your topic. And I always think it's a nice jumping point to start. And then we'll end with the vision of where we're going, the bigger picture with Miss Sharon. So is that all right? Is that a good
Great.
Good lineup, right? All right. Well, I'm going to use your bio here, Carey. Carey Conley is dedicated to helping you identify your dreams and goals through vision building and through discovering your purpose. She believes that success in life is about following your true passion and knowing what impact you are here to make in the world. Carey draws from more than 2 decades of experience in growing 2 businesses, decades of being a wife and a mom, and her personal journey of life tragedies that she shares with her audience. She not only can relate to her audience about why having a clear vision and purpose is the bottom line to professional success, but how it becomes the anchor in all the storms of life. It is through her joy and her pain, through her success and her struggles, that she offers you the greatest opportunity to clear a path to your destiny by living in your purpose. That's beautiful, Carey. Do you want to share a little bit about
like a poem, right?
Well, it's long. We're going to have to cut it back.
Laurel wrote that.
My daughter. Yeah. So where do you want me to jump off from here, Angel? There's so much. I just am very, very passionate about vision, obviously, because my story is I was 26 years old. This was the late 80s. And this is what you did as you came out of college with a business degree, and you went to work for a company at the bottom and you worked your way up. And that's what we were all doing. My husband did very, very well in that structure, and I did not. I was an entrepreneur at heart and didn't follow the 9-to-5 gig very well. So long story short, I took an entire day to write out on a legal pad of paper what I wanted my life to look like in great detail, defining everything, the flexibility I wanted to have raising my kids, what kind of mom I wanted to be, what kind of values I wanted to instill in them, what kind of business that I might be in. And out of nowhere that day, on the last little line of one of those pieces of paper, I wrote that someday I wanted to be a speaker and trainer on vision and goal setting. Just wow. Truly.
Wow.
And what I believe now, with all the personal growth and all the studying I've been doing, is that was me getting in alignment with God and the universe, saying, here's what we're going to do. And that's what I want to help people do, is get attached to that kind of a place where they unfold and start figuring out, what is it that I'm truly called to do while I'm here? And that they will take that vision and get really clear with it and be able to craft a plan around it.
Wow, I love that.
Right.
And Carey, what do you think that it holds women back from reaching those goals, or from hitting that clear, perfect vision that they have?
Well, I've done this, of course, with thousands of people, and most of them women, and they will transparently tell me, and in a group, in a big room, Angel's seen it, where they will literally come to the microphone and say, I don't know that I can do it. I don't know that I deserve it. Deserving is a big, big thing. Mm-hmm. I am worried about taking time away from my family, which is the biggest myth there is. The money investment, like we talked about, the failure. They worry about what people will think. Will they get the support? I mean, the list is long.
Yeah.
Really long. Wow. The biggest disconnect is, there are so many people who teach vision and purpose out there, way bigger names than me. But the biggest thing that I do is I get them to take what they have put on a pretty vision board, what I call the someday board, and I get them to put dates on things. So, they've got a beach house up there. I say, great, beautiful. I want that too. What's the date that you're going to have that? And that's when you can see everybody in the room go, what do you mean I got to put a date on that? Because at that
a realistic date?
A date. Well, and see, I don't like the word realistic. We use that a lot, and it's an excuse word for me. Because we know from studying Think and Grow Rich, Outwitting the Devil. I'm now a big fan of Gabby Bernstein. Her newest book, Super Attractor, love it. It's all about what you think about, you bring about. And we so limit ourselves on that realistic thing. Right? So yeah, dates. The only reason I have people put dates is so that they can reverse engineer a plan so they know what to do every day. That's the only reason for the date.
Right.
Even if you don't hit it, it's not a big deal. I hit my first goal with my first business 7 years later than I thought I was going to. And it doesn't matter because I still hit it. That's the problem, is that it's the accountability. 3,000%, they all go, I don't want to put a date on this because it means I actually have to do it. And God forbid they tell anybody else about it.
Because they hold them accountable. So when are you going to get your beach house? You said August, right? You said August 2021, right?
I don't know if it'll be August 2021. You know, the plan was 3 years from now. When I wrote my vision, I rewrite my vision every year, the month of my birthday. So I'll be doing that. Last year, I redid it when Angel and I were in Cabo on a trip together.
That was kind of a fun place to write a vision.
Yes, it was. Right? And I wish we were there.
I want to stay here forever.
Yeah. Thinking that it would be a little bit further down the line before my grandbabies would start showing up. Well, God had a whole other plan, which is another reason why women specifically don't want to write vision is, well, what if something happens and it all changes? Well, hello, my world blew up 6 years ago when my husband died, and then my son 3 years later. Yeah. So the beach house is still on the plan. I might just have to move the date up now.
So it's okay to move that date.
Absolutely. And what I've seen more times than not is when people really take this exercise seriously, it starts happening so much faster because, again, they want to put a realistic further out date on it. But how the universe works, it goes, okay, so now we're collaborating. Now we're going to make this happen. And so many times I've had people call me and go, you are not going to believe what happened today.
Right.
Well, you started to take action, right? You started to take baby steps in action. You've put it on the calendar. You've backstepped it to say, okay, if that's the date, then these are some of the things I have to do, right? And it's the doing, it's the taking action that
those little steps every day that you have to do in order to attain that weekly goal, to attain that monthly goal, to attain that bigger goal that you have.
Right. It's just
part of it comes from speaking it and to sharing it. And you have this responsibility to live it because other people have heard it.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, and the universe responds to whatever you ask for. So what I'm learning, because I am restudying Outwitting the Devil and Think and Grow Rich right now, is it's all just mindset. We are the only ones that block that. The universe is circling with everything you want right now going, I've got all this and more. It's all here. Everything you want already exists. It's just waiting to land on you when you really open up and say.
Carey, we have a comment saying, Carey, I want to be like you when I grow up.
Well, I don't know about that, but
a lot of people do. Carey, what's the best way for people to connect with you?
My website is careyconley.com. And if they type in go.careyconley/mastermind, I think it's masterclass, sorry. They'll get a free downloadable 1 hour. It's a workshop that I did. It's the first module of a workshop where they get to learn how to write the vision and why they need to.
And I'm going to tell you that masterclass is unbelievable because I took it a couple of weeks back when you and I first met. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's a great thing that you need to do. And I think you need to do it 3 or 4 times a year just to kind of get yourself back in that right mindset.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Quarterly, I do revisit it just to refresh, but it never really changes.
Yeah.
Carey and I and Sharon, we also collaborate on a mastermind group called SAM, Simplify, Accelerate, and Monetize. And I know, Tina, you're going through the SAM mastermind right now.
I'm going through it right now.
Yeah. So this is, I just now put that together. The world does. It brings people together, the right people into your world when you put it out. So Carey, when we're done with this, we'll make sure we go put the link in for that masterclass so people can get the right link to connect with you. But Carey Conley, our CC of the day,
our birthday girl,
and she's a brand new grandma. We call her CC. And so
yes,
yes, here's my
our happy birthday banner.
Thank you so much. I wish we could actually all physically be together tonight to have martinis.
Right?
That would be.
Yeah, somebody was saying last night that, from now on, everybody used to get around the birthday cake and, blow out the candles. And now you can't do that anymore.
No, we have to do it virtually.
Yeah.
Carey, I'll have a martini for you tonight.
Well, I was going to say, Sharon, if I was
I
there.
think Angel and I will both have an Angel Tina teeny tonight for you too.
When I come back next week, we're going to make that happen.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds
I'll
lovely.
be ready.
Yep, me too.
Well, you've heard everybody mention the book Outwitting the Devil, right? By Sharon Lechter. We all are going through it right now, getting ready for Assets Are Sexy, preparing our mind, preparing everything. I'm going to read from the back of the book about Sharon. She's the co-author of 3 Feet from Gold, co-author of the international bestseller Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and 14 books in the Rich Dad series. She's also a national spokesperson for the National CPA's Commission on Financial Literacy. She's the founder of Pay Your Family First, which we alluded to about taking care of our children and teaching them about financial literacy, which is a financial education organization, and creator of Thrive Time for Teens, an award-winning financial life and money reality game. She's focused on expanding the knowledge of Napoleon Hill's principles and teachings around the globe in conjunction. Look, she's got her game.
Oh, I love it.
You can find her at payyourfamilyfirst.com. You can also find her at assetsaresexy.com. Sharon, I'm so excited. I'm just so excited. And to see the energy and now that we are just now starting to put out the information for Assets Are Sexy,
Right.
how excited people are, because we said this, for a time such as this, this is what we need. And you at the helm leading this revolution.
Everyone is loving the title. Like every time we say, assets are sexy, they're like, ooh.
And I have a tagline: the older you get, the sexier the assets become.
Oh, I love that too.
I'm banking on that today, Sharon, as I creep towards the next big number.
Right?
You're still far behind me, my dear.
Girl.
Right. So Assets Are Sexy. How did you come up with that?
Well, it kind of just evolved. Probably 2-3 years ago, I was speaking and it just kind of came out of my mouth, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of true. So, my favorite word, I've said this for many years, is assets. We all chase income, and instead of chasing income, we should be chasing income producing assets, because once you create an asset, buy, build, or create an asset, it's an economic engine. And it sits in your balance sheet in the asset column and continues to throw income at you. And so too many people are seeking money instead of creating the assets that generate the money. And so it's something that I've taught. I grew up in a very entrepreneurial home, and so it's kind of ingrained in me. And when I got into the real world, I said, nobody thinks that way. Everybody wants a second job, or they want to get a raise, and they're concerned about their income, as opposed to how can you create that income by buying, building, and creating an asset. And so my entire life, asset has been my favorite word. And when you write a book, it's an asset. All right. My second favorite word is royalties. Those are pretty good. And then my third favorite word is leverage, because when you can leverage, you have the opportunity to use other people's money, time, and resources to help build your business. And so it's kind of just a natural state of being, and most people don't get it. And they hang out on the left side of the cash flow quadrant as an employee or a self-employed person. And to become financially free, you need to build those businesses and have investments that work for you on the right side.
Sharon, right now, I think especially with the economic influx, the challenges that people are going through, even, for many who they were solely relying on that paycheck, right, every other Friday, and it's the bottom has dropped out of the financial security that even the myth of financial security that people thought that they had. And so more than ever, we need this financial literacy. You talked about the quadrants, like the left side versus the right side, and we're familiar with that. Oh, look, she's got it right there.
She's so prepared.
I was looking for it because I did a thing late last night and I had it. So it's all kind of wrinkled right now. But yeah,
Okay, well, show it to us.
This is the second book in the Rich Dad series called Cash Flow Quadrant, and it shows the 4 different ways we make money. On the left side is employee, self-employed. And then on the right side is as a business owner and investor. This side on the left is you working for money. You're exchanging your time for money. And there's only so many days in the week, so many hours in a day. And so your amount of income you can make on the left side is finite, but this is what school teaches us.
Yeah.
And so I teach people how to move to the right side, and that's have businesses where you're using other people's systems, other people's money, other people's time, other people's resources, and investments that work for you. Your ability to make money on the right side is infinite. And so the people that understand that and have had economic engines on the right side have survived the last 2 months a lot better than the ones that are just exchanging time for money. And then all of a sudden their jobs disappeared. So it's really important to right now take stock in where you are financially and say, okay, what small things can I do to start adjusting how I live so that I can start moving to the right side of the quadrant?
So what's something interesting, Sharon, is you've got small what does it say on the
self-employed?
Self-employed, yes. You have self-employed
or
on one side,
superstar, like
right?
Doctor, lawyer, right? That's all right here.
Yeah. But business owner is on the other side. I think that people think that if they are self-employed, that they are a business owner.
Yeah, and most self-employed people are actually, they own a job, not a business, because they haven't built the systems. You know, the definition of a true business owner, can you leave for 6 months and come back and have the business still operating and as strong as you left it or stronger? So, you know, if you think of a business owner as somebody who owns a McDonald's franchise, they're not there. You know, the systems are operating that business. And so even though I still make money out of all 4 quadrants, I'm an employee of my own corporations. I get paid for speaking, but I have multiple businesses and a lot of investments. I make far more money on the right side of the quadrant than I do on the left, but it's something that, you know, all 4 work. And the issue is, do you want more time or do you want less time? Because if you continue exchanging time for money, you will always have to do that. If you start investing your time to buy, build, or create assets, you will eventually have more free time. So
we have a question. What are some of the things that you can do when you're just starting out? I guess when you're just starting out as a business.
Great question. Well, you're thinking about, you know, the most successful businesses solve a problem and serve a need. I made that comment earlier, and we've got a lot of problems and needs right now. But somebody who's just getting started, I always tell them, you may have heard of Laurel Langemeier. When she came out of corporate America, she had nothing to sell. So she came to work with us at Rich Dad and was helping us sell our games and facilitation of the gameplay while she built her own business. And so right now, it's never been easier to become an affiliate of someone. We have an affiliate program at Pay Your Family First. So you can immediately start making income by aligning with other people who have affiliates and help spread if you believe in what they do and what they offer, you can make money right away while you determine what business you want to own and build. And so there's no lack of cash flow out there. You just need to figure out what it is you want. As Carey says, have that vision and then chart a course to do it.
Take your passion.
Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone.
Yeah. Wow, I love that.
And there's so much opportunity, and who you align with and who you are getting counsel from will change what kind of advice and what information or what, and it depends on what side of the quadrant that they are on. If they are not on that business owner investment side, of course they're going to tell you, get another job, you know, wait for your tax refund check, you know,
wait for that stimulus check that comes in the mail that you just can't wait.
Right. For many people, like that was their only hope.
Yeah.
And Sharon, this is where assets are sexy, is changing the dynamic, changing the mindset, but giving us the actual tools. And I know that's something that's so important to you. And this is even where you've got the quadrant, the tools to actually get started, the skill set. Yes.
Well, many people think you have to have money to make money. And in today's society, it's so much easier to start a business because your greatest asset's right here. And you know, everybody's an expert. Nobody's lived in your shoes. Nobody's had your successes. Nobody's had your learning opportunities. And we are all where we are. Carey has had tremendous loss. I lost my son 7 years ago. So we have that in common, not something you ever want to have anybody in that club with you. But we all have things that have stopped us in our tracks. It could have been death, divorce, illness, financial setback. And so the question is, you're still here for a reason. Carey and I are still here for a reason. We could hide away and mourn, or we decided we need to step up. There's more for us to do. And what we've been through, we can now help others get through it more quickly by being there as a support. And so each and every one of you watching and listening, you're an expert. Nobody's had your successes or your failures. The issue is, are you willing to step up and help others by sharing what you've been through, and by writing a book, creating a program, doing coaching, creating a product? All of us have that opportunity. And then many of our panelists next week, we have people that have products like wigs, right? We have people that have products, people who are coaching, people who have written books, in cybersecurity, a lot of digital marketing. We have women from all walks of life who found that way to identify that problem or that need and create a business around it. And that's what's so exciting about it, because you may listen to one and say, I couldn't do that. But then the next person is like, wow, I could do that. And find ways. Every one of our speakers next week and every one of our panelists are giving a free gift. And so just by being there that night, that day, you're going to have 25 plus free gifts from everybody.
I like the way you said that they have to take your story and share it, because 2 years ago, I had to do the same thing. I just went through a divorce. I lost a 6-figure income. I became an empty nester, and it was a battle for me. And I didn't want to share that story because I felt like a failure. But having people like you guys share your story, and you're like, oh, they're like me. They have done things like me. And then you start sharing your story and you're able to help other people.
Yeah, it took me a long time to be able to do that. I actually respected Carey about it. It took me a long time to be able to share, because it was one of those things where I said, I think it was fear of criticism. I didn't want people to think I was capitalizing on the loss of my son.
Yeah.
When I actually started sharing it from stage, amazing. The people that felt the freedom to just share and to start healing. They weren't alone. And it's been magical. And it's something that really when I realized that I'd been living my life in neutral, kind of numb for a long time, I started thinking about retiring. And that's when I launched the Play Big movement, because I decided instead of retiring, I needed to refire my career. And I knew that a lot of other people were going through the same thing.
I like that. Instead of retire, I refired.
That's right.
I think it's important to note, because I don't think we've said this thus far, that Sharon and I have lost all of our loved ones. My husband, both my son and her son, to suicide. And so that is something that's a little bit different. And I think it's pretty epidemic, unfortunately, right now, and a lot easier to talk about than it would have been even 10 years ago. But what Sharon is saying, and I felt the same way, Sharon, that especially after my son died, Laurel and I, my daughter and I, knew that we needed to write a book, but we sat on it for a while, because I personally felt like I don't want people feeling like I'm using my losses as a platform. But same thing.
But you are using your losses as a platform to help other people.
Yeah.
Think about all the people that you helped who have gone through the same thing, that now they're able to say, oh my gosh, she's a real person too. They go through the same things that we go through.
Well, the loss isn't a platform. It's just part of her story. Mm-hmm. Her platform is much bigger than her loss, but it is part of the story. And by sharing that story, you become more relatable. I grew up at a time when vulnerability was not allowed. Right. My dad was retired military. So when I always had to be the smartest teacher or the speaker that gave, that was perfect, right? That could give you the wisdom and not show any kind of vulnerability. That was the beginning of my career. And so to be able to switch was not easy. To be able to like really share. I mean, it's one thing to talk about mistakes and, laugh about it, but you don't laugh about losing your child. You're not supposed to outlive your child. And to be able, I still get choked up about it when I'm on stage, but I'm willing to share it because I've seen the fact that it opens the door for so many people to be willing to share their story.
Mhm.
So it's not a tool, it's the truth. And by sharing the truth, your authenticity shows through, and people see that vulnerability and appreciate it.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Ladies, I'm so glad that you're here today. I am so excited that we are on this journey together. We will all be together again next Friday for Assets Are Sexy. Carey, one more time, how everybody can follow you and stay in touch with you.
Just my website, careyconley.com.
Okay, fabulous.
And on Facebook, I'm all over it.
She is all over it, right? And on Instagram too. We were discovering this morning we're missing the pictures because I'm not playing on Instagram as much as we.
And I do have a private Facebook group that I invite people to, Angel. It's just vision driven. If people go there, ask to join, I do a lot in that group.
Vision driven. All right. Lots of people are going to go there this morning. How about you, Sharon? How would you like for folks to stay connected and plug into many things?
The first step is to join us at assetsaresexy.com, assetsaresexy.com. Join us for next Friday. But you can also find me everywhere, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, SharonLechter.com. Everything's under the handle Sharon Lechter. My Facebook page is author Sharon Lechter. But, and then as a gift, if you go to personalsuccessequation.com, you'll have the opportunity to download a workbook that really helps you determine, what you might not be seeing in your own personal success as far as your passion, your talent, finding those right associations, taking the right action, and having faith in yourself. Too many times the faith is actually fear. So personalsuccessequation.com.
I love that.
Beautiful. How about you, Miss Tina? Where would you like for folks to follow you?
Well, you can follow me everywhere. Tina Torres, the Gratitude Specialist, where I teach you how to create loyal clients for a lifetime, turn those clients into raving fans, and increase your cash flow without adding a single new client. And you can text the word connection to 26786 for your free PDF on 7 ways to increase your cash flow right now. So text the word connection to 26786 so you can get your 7 ways to. I was going to give it to you, but then. Okay, right. What about you, Miss Angel?
Like Sharon said, we would love to see you at Assets Are Sexy next Friday. This is a do not miss event. The quality and the content that you're going to get from the speakers, all of the panelists, all of the sponsors. We are so grateful for all of the sponsors who came out and are supporting this movement. And like Sharon said, this is going to be the launch of something even greater. So you want to be a part of this, and you can register for free thanks to our sponsors at assetsaresexy.com. And if you want to hang out with me, you can download my complimentary gift for you at makeyourbigimpact.com, makeyourbigimpact.com. I'm going to teach you how to transform your media exposure in the next 10 days, a 10-day media transformation at makeyourbigimpact.com.
I love it. I love it. I cannot wait for the Assets Are Sexy. Cannot wait.
It is going to be,
I have my notebook that I'm going to fill up with all these notes.
And if you don't have it yet, right, go and order. I think you can still, I don't know if there's shipping books or not, but go and order.
They are. It's just taken a long time because when you order my book, it's taken like 6 weeks.
Well, if you order from my website, we will autograph it for you. So,
well, all right.
I need to go. I want to get another one that's autographed.
Need a new one, even if you have one. If you don't have an autographed one, right?
Yeah.
SharonLechter.com. You can order right there.
Right.
Yep.
Awesome. I need to get my autographed copy, Sharon.
All right, ladies. Thank you so much. You want to close us out, Miss Tina?
Yes. Thank you guys so much for being on the show today. We had over 130 viewers on right now. I love it. I love it. Probably one of the most powerful shows yet on the Angel and Tina show, where we come to you every weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern where we bring you a little brightness to your day. See you guys tomorrow, where I will be having Forbes Riley on. So have a good day, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, you guys, for having us on.
Thank you.